Well, kids, I know you're surprised, but we're still working on the old mallet machine. We did get pretty daggone far, that I am happy to say. Last night, which I didn't record, if you have one of these ground effects type bumpers, you can, you know, fill it in with little light spots. See how thin this is? That's little rock chips, stuff like that that's happened. But hopefully you guys has got the trick on the old bondage. And I'm gonna let you in on a little other. This is just what I'm doing. You do what you do. I'm gonna do what I do. So this particular piece that I have laying upside down here is what's known as the tonneau cover on a convertible. At least that's what it's called in every daggone thing I can find. It's the piece that lays, yep, right, well, not that, that's a blanket. But you see how good a shape this top is in, and it's been professionally worked on back in its day. Yep, and it only gets better. But I'll show you that here in a minute. So this tonneau cover, I know this is the other side, you can't really tell, but this thing underneath the, thank God it's still good, weather strip. See how that squeezes? Real pliable. It ain't cracking and turning into dust in your hands. You can reuse that. Not going to hurt a darn thing. Get some weather strip adhesive, you'll be golden, pony boy. But I am not painting this with the rest of the car. You heard me. I'm not painting this part with the rest of the car. Why? I heard you say it. I heard you. Well, because this part is like never seen. Like hardly ever. The top goes up, or this part goes up, that top folds up, it all folds down in, it closes, and then you see the top of this part, not the bottom. So the chances of somebody saying, oh man, what'd you do to that? Not only that, the stuff that I used to paint it, which you're going to guess it here in a second, is a rust encapsulator. It stops rust where it is, it stops it. Okay? You can't find this part hardly on eBay. They don't remake this part anywhere that I know of. Not just this bottom part, like the whole piece. In 1988, there was like less than 2,500 of these things made. Now, I believe, somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, I believe from 87 to 92 should be the same. I'm betting 100% they're all the same. You can take one, unbolt it, and put it on another one. 86 though was made by a different company. They were all shipped out. In fact, 87 I think is a little iffy. Maybe. It depends on if it's early or late production, I think. Some are made by ASE and some was maybe made in the factory. I can't really remember. I used to study this stuff, and then I decided, well, you know, I like convertibles, so it doesn't matter. Anyway, so I'm just getting at this part. These are hard to find. Very, very, very hard to find. Because I don't know how many Camaro convertibles you see that are third gens, but yeah, they're not many at all. I believe I counted like, I don't want to say because somebody will bash me on it, daggone it, but I want to say there's like 10,000 ish. Maybe that was just of V8 models or Z28s or something. Anyway, there's not many. There's less than 2,588. So all I'm getting at is this is not a common trunk lid for a 69 Camaro or anything for that car. I mean, you can find anything for that car, thank God, because I think it probably needs replaced. But anyway, this part, I don't know if you guys can see, it's pitted. See all that? Now, it did not go through. It is just pitted in places. Not all the way, but right here on the ends real bad. My guess is I'll show you another part why I think it was done like that. You see that right there? Yep, that's not a factory hole. That one's also not a factory hole. Neither's that one, neither's that one. So guess what we're talking about tonight? Talking about fixing those holes that somebody screwed into it for whatever reason. I don't know. But I decided to use on this, I took it down with 40 grit sandpaper, and I took the little tiny DA, the small one, and with these two things here, I mean, I just made her eat. If you have the is it the ACT tool, the one that takes everything down to bare metal, that would have been perfect for this. So every place that was actually even had rust, I took down to bare metal. Around these bolts, studs, I'm sorry. Right around through here, this latch mechanism here. And the good thing about Pour 15 is you can get it on the Amazonian site and probably most of your local parts stores maybe. But if not, you definitely get on the Amazonian site. Probably Summit, Jegs, I'm guessing, I don't really know. I think I got mine off Amazonian. And it is self-leveling. I mean, this stuff here, she's smooth, baby. And scratch resistant. I mean, it is tough stuff. So I went with that rather than taking it off, doing a whole bunch of body work that nobody's gonna see. I'm not a perfectionist. I don't know if you know that or not. I mean, I've got, you know, I'm too busy to be a perfectionist right now, guys. I'm just saying. I still want it to be nice, and I don't want it to get any worse. Thus, why I went with this. I feel 100% confident in knowing I am not going to have to worry about this. Absolutely not. And I am 100% sure the reason why it's right down in here so bad on the corners and all is because somebody had screwed a tarp and caused moisture to collect in weird places that probably would have never collected before. I say that with a lot of confidence. So without further ado, give me a few minutes. I'm gonna flip this sucker upside down, and I'm going to tell you and hopefully show you how we fix those holes. All right, give me just a few. All right, so I'm sure you can see right there, right there, and I think the other one was right there. Now I took some of this other down because the paint was all chunked up, and looky here, we got more porous crap. I don't like that. So we're going to also stop that in spot, but not with Pour 15. Not with Pour 15 at all. See how that's all down in here like this? What we're going to do, we've already taken it down to bare metal. We're going to rough it up a little bit with some 40 grit, make that real smooth, pouring type. The spreads, you know, this stuff. The real thin with the honey glaze, fiberglass resin, what have you. We're going to put the thinnest coat over top. And I can hear somebody say, why? The reason why is we don't want this. We don't want that porous. We've already got down to it, right? Right. So we're going to clean that out really good with some, before you spray it, wipe stuff. What's it called? Hold on, I'll show you. You can probably use acetone or something. I'm not sure, but I always use this other stuff. Surface cleaner. This is what you wipe down the whole car with, along with some of these towels that I think I got a maybe the Walmart's or AutoZonian type O'Reilly. I don't know. I got them somewhere that had parts stuff. So excuse me, I don't remember. It's just, they tear off real easy. They're neat as heck, and they're little like mini terry cloths. So you just get them and Yeah. I swear to God, they rip. There we go. I mean, they rip off real good like that. But what we're going to do is clean this area really good. First, we're going to take more of this paint off. Okay, we're going to take more of the paint off. Then we're going to blend it really nice. We're just going to throw the slimmest coat that we can do. Boom. We're going to take tape and we're going to run it right along this lip. Why do you think we're doing that? Yep, you got it right. To stop Bondo from sticking on this actual cover. This here is some sort of plastic, vinyl. Hey, it's not metal kind of material. I don't know. But you see how close it was here and there and everywhere? That's what the game plan is. We're going to stop the bondoage from touching it so we can do our body work, just like with the windshield, how we ran tape up all around it. We're going to do the exact same thing here. You know, all this stuff pretty much applies pretty much the same. And that part right there, I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure that's not supposed to be hooved up like that. That kind of don't look factory. So before we do any kind of work, I think we're going to take a persuader and tap this part. Do you see it? How it's not, see that? Pretty sure that's not supposed to be hooved up like that. So we're going to persuade it on back down. I'm going to use a slap method on that. I'm going to take a hammer, put it here, and another hammer to hit that hammer. You remember the slap method, right? Where you smack the, yeah. If you don't, I used it on the Big Red Machine. Was we doing brakes or something? I think we were doing brakes, and I used the slap method. It's a pretty good method. So we're going to do that. Smack that back down because I am 100% sure GM never made that hooved up like that. That just don't look good. Or if they did, this one's not going to have it. So that's going to be another thing. But we've got pretty doggone far. We're back to the quarter panel on this side. And what did I find on this? Yeah, we got a little bit of not so gooder there, but again, we're just going to take and apply a little thin, make that go away. And then there was a small area right, oh, you guys can't see it, dang it, maybe. But the good thing is nothing's rusted through. Pretty happy about that. But there was another place too on this thing. See that crack right there? Guess what? Yep, she'd been fixed prior to and not real gooder. So yeah, golly, I didn't even pay attention to that. Yep, she'd been I'll bet somebody stepped on it. That's why I put them up on top of the 69 so I don't crush these darn things, because I don't know about you guys, but old Dad's a little clumsy. And that's just the truth, what it is, you know. But anyway, we're going to get started. Uh-oh. No, that'll work. I was just looking at these. Going to get started on smacking that thing back down. We're going to throw a real smooth glaze right there. Tape this ledge. And then we're going to just roll with it. What do you think? Sounds like a good plan to me. So, give me about, 3 or 4 days and I'll come back here and we'll look at it again. Or just a few minutes. Okay guys, can we pretend for just like a minute, just a little bit? Because I kind of jumped ahead. I forgot that I already filled in the drill holes. I just kind of skipped past that part, didn't I? Well, I already filled in the drill holes. So we're gonna pretend. We walk over to our happy little welder. Hi. You hook up a ground somewhere that you've ground, and then wherever I put make sure you wear your gloves, kids. Safety first, and your helmet. Auto darkening preferred. Now, if you've never done this, The only thing you're going to do is grind a lot more than you used to. So, with, oh, maybe I can get it. Okay, so I'm going to show you with one hand. Don't do it with one hand unless you're really good. I'm not. And the welder's off. I'm just going to show you, like, you start right here on the hole and you just burst the trigger a little bit, and then you build the hole like that and you finish it. Now, what's going to happen? You're going to fill the hole up with weld. Then you're going to have to grind it down. More than likely, you're going to have to grind it anyway to make it flush, because unless you are one heck of a welder, I'm not. I'm good. I'm not great. My friend Jeremy, he's great. But you know, and the hole, hopefully it's not that big. If it is, go cut you a little piece of metal. You know, make you a pattern with a piece of paper or cardboard. Go over that, and yeah. So, and lug nut, I know what you're going to say. I know what you're going to say. You didn't show people how to do the smack method, right? Or the slap method. So, I'm going to do this for you, buddy. He's always got good advice. He really does. And I do appreciate everything that you do. Thanks for all your comments and letting me know, hey, maybe you should do this. I appreciate it. I really do. So I'm going to do this. That way so you guys know what I'm talking about. Now, what this does, see how I got it flat now? This method I use on ball joints, tie rod ends, anything where I want direct pressure. Like, I don't want this pressure to smack anywhere else except for where it was hooved up, right? So I put preferably my metal hammer here, because if not, I'm not saying that I used to use this one as the taking the blow of all the, but yeah, see, that's what happens when you do that with a metal hammer versus a wooden handled hammer. This splits because it transfers all of the energy from this clear down to here, and guess what? Sometimes you put a little too much heat on her, meaning force, and you crack that baby. So you just put your hammer like this, and then you just boom, 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 boom. Now, you don't have to hit it as hard. What that does is it actually takes the pressure and makes it better, because you're hitting the exact same spot. You don't have to move your hammer around. You know how if you just swing like wild at something, you might hit the same place like 12 times out of like 147. And the other times it's just going to be really close. Well, with that, you're hitting the same spot every time because you've positioned it where you want the pressure. This here is actually flat now where it's supposed to be. I'm happy with that. We got our tape up along the edge, and we have filled in our holes. Now, as you can see, that's not perfect. That's fine because it's so small. I mean, it's about like this. You know what I mean? So we already have to go over with a skim coat of that. It's fine. I'm just going, it's not a hole. That's the main part. It is not a hole. So, just a little divot. I'm good with the divot. Divots fill in real easy. I mean, look how thin. You can see right through it. So I'm good with that. That was a nick in that bumper too. I did it to the, you know, wherever it had like a little tiny rock chip or what have you. I don't know really what happened up there, but doesn't matter. It'll be fixed. But anyway, whenever you weld, you know, hopefully you guys know how to weld. If not, I'm sure there's better welders than me on here. Watch a welder's channel, okay? Welder, very important to body work. Very, 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 very important. And believe me, if you're not a welder, you're a grinder. Yeah, not the app, but you know, you get it. Anyway, but I ground those down also with that little air grinder that I also like to use, which is gone. So that's good. There it is. Yeah. But that sucker right there, this little flapper disc, that is the business. I'm telling you, it did the trick. Did it real good. So that's what I would recommend to use on that. You do what you do, and we're gonna get to business. So I'm just gonna make up some honey for this right here. And as long as you have this stuff pretty well flat, you may have it hooved up. This is, it may be hooved up like this here. I think was an actual bigger bolt hole. Actually, that's a hole there. I need to fill that in just a little bit. And I'm just gonna take it and then I'm gonna have to grind it again. But you see, that actually has a small, yep, 2 holes, and that's a divot, I believe. Either way, we're gonna go ahead and fix that. I'm glad we looked at it again. But we're just gonna take our welder and yank, and then we're gonna grind it again. It's not a big deal. But it's better to do it like that than like try to put chicken wire or something in there, or just fill it full of Bondo and hope for the best. That's horrible. Do it the right way. And if you do hoove it up, you grind her down. I think that's what happened. I ground it down, and where this was such a big hole, it kind of honeycombed on me, beehived, whatever. Like, it came above the surface. That's what I'm trying to say. Came above the surface and I ground it down. And apparently I ground it down in this particular little tiny 2 spots right here. 2 spots, maybe 3. They didn't fill in just perfect. It happens. I think I've actually done that one twice. This will actually be a 3rd time. Not a big deal. Another thing, go to the Harbinese Freight and pick you up. These are called portable workstations, I think. Yeah, there it is. Right there. Right there. And I didn't even know they had these. I actually had to Google what the heck they were called, because I see painters use them all the time and body guys, right? Now, the ones that are sold by Eastgate are a lot heavier duty than these, but these still hold 200 pounds. Unless I decide to lay on this thing like a hammock, I think it'll be fine. That hood does not weigh 200 pounds. That definitely does not weigh 200 pounds. And I don't know if those doors do or not. I doubt it, because I've picked that one up in that box like 7 times. So yeah, that box right there, that has a brand new door in it. We're gonna go ahead and get 2 because it feels right. So anyway, let me tack this in. We'll throw some honey over it and see what happens. Sound good? All right, break. All right, guys, so what I actually did, I went ahead and I'm going to show you that it actually does stick up from the surface after you do that. I went ahead and hit that one, and I hit 2 little spots over here. And I'm just going to grind it down, but I wanted to show you guys what you have to build it up. I'm sorry if that's really loud, guys, but you have to build the surface up and cut down into it, okay? And then looky there, huh? No more holes, boys. So rather than you guys listen to another 3 minutes of that grinding going on, yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm really happy with that. That looks a lot more gooder. So like I said, little tiny skim coat, that might not even take a skim coat. That could probably actually take a coat of epoxy primer and that's it. But you might have to build it up. It may sink in a little bit. I don't know, that one did. That one did just a little bit. I mean, it is what it is. But nonetheless, by the time we get it done, it She'll be pretty much flush. You know, you just gotta have faith in the system, in the process. How about not the system? Yeah, in the process. Just have a little bit of faith in it. Body work. If you've been watching this series at all on the mullet machine, whew, this body work is killer, man. Like, it is taking me at least 30 times longer than what I ever thought it would. And the reason why it is because I don't want to leave anything that can possibly nab me in the hind end later. You know, if I wouldn't do these things the right way, it's going to show up really early after I paint it. And then I didn't fix anything. I just put, you know, pretty paint, brand new paint, and expensive, because everything's expensive anymore, on a car that has shoddy body work to it. That doesn't make any sense. Just do it right. Yes, it's a total pain in the hind end, but it'll be worth it. It'll be worth it. Promise you it will. I know whenever I look at a car that has brand new paint and horrible body work, I'm like, God, man, why didn't you just rattle can it? You know? No, we're not rattle canning this. We are like, we've got this so much done, we're not rattle canning spit. And yes, I know, I kind of taped up my marker lights. I don't know if I'm popping them out or not. I probably will. I just did that so I could sand around them, and I don't know. It's me trying to get done with this project. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. You know, I ain't lied to you yet. I ain't gonna start now. You know, half of me wants me to leave those things in there. I know better. I know better. So I'll probably end up ripping them out, doing it the right way. Because I mean, yeah, I mean, we've got the whole car, you know, we've done a lot of body work too. So yeah, I know. We're going to end up taking them off. And the fog lights, though, I ain't gonna lie, I'm probably keeping those in because they have metal brackets around them, and I want them painted up. Now, I took out the grill, you guys know that, but for those brackets, I'd rather have them painted. And they're taped. Not gonna lie, there's nothing around there that should catch water at all. So, or any kind of debris, what have you. There's nothing there, it's all open. So that part I'm really not worried about at all. The headlights, the reason why I did that is because if you guys have ever installed headlights in these, you know, I don't want to scratch a brand new paint job. I'm gonna give you the honest to God's truth on the headlights. Now these, I was just being lazy, not gonna lie. I didn't really look how they come out. I was being lazy. These, if you've never put headlights in a 3rd gen, these screws, and then you bend it down. I didn't want to scratch up this paint right here. We're going to have a black car. Scratches show, everything shows in a black paint job. I don't know if you guys know that. It's one of the hardest paints to lay down, especially if your body's not straight. Like, that's why I'm trying to get this as pretty as a picture as I can, because I don't want the ocean waving at me. I want nice flat panels, as flat as I can get them, and no dings. I don't want to miss any dings. I gotta sneeze. That was a good one. Anyway, I don't want any dings. Now, if I was painting this car white, I could probably let almost anything go. That's a little secret by car guys. Like car lots used to paint them all up white and stuff and send them. Why? Apparently white hides a lot. You guys might know better than me. Like I say, I'm not really a body guy on car stuff. I'm showing you how I can do it and all that kind of stuff, and hopefully save you guys some headache. I find out, I do digging, I ask people. Lugnut, I ask you. Other guys that subscribe, I ask you. So let's keep that ball rolling. I really like it. But anyway, I'm gonna grind that down, like I've said like 3 times now. Grind it down, make her smooth again. We're gonna sand that piece down, make it smooth. We're gonna throw a little guide coat on it, call her good. All right? Just give me a few minutes and we'll get that out of the way. Okay, so I've applied my coats. Super thin. See how you can see through that? You know what that means? We just saved a bunch of paper. Super thin. See how you can see through that? That means you're gonna save a bunch of paper. Now, what I meant to show you guys was, one, you can actually clean and reuse these. I know they're somewhat cheap, but why spend money if you don't have to? Brake cleaner, rag, you can reuse them. Just a little tss before it sets up. This stuff here, apparently I'm really good about wasting. Yeah, I don't know how to tell you to not mix up what you don't need yet, because I never know how much it's going to take. But what I want to tell you is, if you mix it, oh dang it, got it all in my hand. If you mix it like this, back and forth, and keep it flat, that keeps air bubbles out. What that means is, whenever you apply it, see how thin that is? There's no air bubbles in it. There's none. You don't have to worry about it suddenly popping. You know what I mean? Whenever you're spreading it. It'll make sense whenever you start working with this stuff. So, I actually watched this on I think it was a 3M thing. They take it, they keep it flat, and they just keep going back and forth. They scoot it around like this. I wish I'd have showed you a video on that, or in the video rather. This stuff's in the middle of setting up, so I didn't want to show you really on this, but you can see how flat it is, and that's how flat I've kept it. You want to keep it kind of thin, and then you just scrape and put in. That is the mix with the fiberglass resin in it also. So that's how I would recommend to do it. It flows and it almost goes on self-leveling. So tonight, guys, that's going to wrap this part up. I want to show you how to weld those holes in. Hopefully that helped you guys out. And mine's going to turn out absolutely beautiful, I'm not going to lie. This side over here was so flush, I probably didn't even need that. I did it anyway because, as you can see, 90% of it ends up on the floor and swept up and everywhere anyway. So when in doubt, coat it out, you know, just flood the panel a little bit. But I think that's going to do it for tonight. We got a lot more work to do, and you know, I don't even know what the next step's going to be yet as far as what we're going to do next on the video, because I'm trying to hurry up and get through this body work so we can continue doing other mechanical things that I might know a smidge more on, or maybe we get to a primer stage or something. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up, and thank you for all the new subscribers, all you old subscribers. I appreciate every daggone one of you. If you don't mind, guys, just real quick, hit the old like and subscribe button. I'd appreciate the heck out of it. Tell your friends, I appreciate it. Leave a comment. I appreciate every single one of you. Until next time, guys, we'll see you here next time on Right Turn Garage TV. It's getting a heck of a lot better.